Hello everyone, I'm Denise Love, and today I want to share with you a fun idea for getting creative with your paint practice. I love doing art challenges, and I've been doing more and more lately, and I've been using art prompt cards in some of those challenges. These are fun ideas that you can pull from to use in your paint practice that help you get past the blank page, push you to experiment, and get out of your artist rut. I hope that you love this concept. And if you have any favorite prompts that you use, that you love, or you think of during class, definitely share those in the comments. Let's take a look at making our own artist prompt cards. I've become really obsessed with artist prompts again after getting the Color Meditation deck prompt cards, and I did a class quite a while back on creating your own artist prompts to then pull from, and I thought, let's just go back to this concept. I've been newly energized with picking things that just push you outside of your circle and your comfort zone. And I love having things that I can refer back to, because when you're sitting here looking at a blank page thinking, what can I do to get started? And then you get stuck. If you just go to your art prompt cards and maybe I pull 2 or 3, and then I'm like, okay, so today I need to add overlapping circles. I need to limit myself to only 5 art supplies and do some stitching. Now I'm like, okay, let's go pick our 5 supplies and let's get started. Now you've given yourself some direction and you're gonna be like, oh, super excited to get started. So this is a great book if you don't want to make your own, the Color Meditation deck. It's got lots of prompts and ideas that you could pull 2 or 3 cards, like limited palette and making tangled marks. And so I love the whole concept of your marks on one side and then the prompt either below that or on the back. And when I made some of these myself, honestly, I was just lazy. I was just trying to come up with the 5 or 20 or 30 different props that I wanted to use, and I put them on these yummy little cards called Little Notes by E. Francis Paper Company, because I loved them. I loved the little unicorns. I had not had these yummy little note cards for very long, and I'm like, these are going to be my prompt cards. And so I have as many as I could think of at the time when I was making that class, and then we made yummy projects using those prompts. So I thought we could go one step forward, one step further, and create our own artist cards that are prompt cards. And so these, I thought it would be really cool if we actually painted that prompt and had the prompt on the card or on the back of the card, and now you have some physical entities that you could pull that you actually painted yourself. So let's do that. I'm probably going to use some of the prompts that I've already come up with to start these. I would absolutely love it if you have some prompts that you love, if you would share those in the comments. And I'll actually list below this video what prompts I've come up with, and then you can share those and use them in your art, and you can put in the comments any ideas that you come up with, because the more the merrier on these. And then I'm just using some Canson watercolor paper. I thought that would be perfect. It's a nice paper to create some cards with, and that's a 9x12 sheet. So I'm kind of thinking maybe we want to make these cards half a sheet, maybe 3 inches, or half a sheet, maybe 4 inches. I'm feeling like 4 inches. What do you think? All right, so I think my 4 inches is right here. And then it'll be a nice sized card that I can pull. They don't have to be perfect, but I kind of would like them to look like a deck. And you know, if you really, really love what you created, you could photograph them or scan them in and have them printed on some nice cards, like Moo cards or something. Moo, M-O-O. Moo cards are pretty cool because then they would be a nice quality card. Oh yeah, see, I like that. And then this is about 4.5 inches. So let's get out here to this little 1/2 inch. Okay. Oh, see, look how nice that size is. Now that I'm looking at that, It might have even been nice if it were tall and skinny, but now I've started it. I don't want to waste our paper. Let's just go with it. So I'm going with 4 by 4.5, basically. 3 by 4.5 would have been nice. It would have been taller. That's okay. So what I was thinking that you could do is get elaborate or as simple as you need to be. And we could put the prompt at the bottom or on the back. So let's just put these on the back. So this here is called Line of Dots. Okay, so line of dots, there's our prompt. And then on the front side, we are going to do that prompt. So, and really your card can be as simple or as elaborate as you'd like to make it. But, you know, this is fun. Have some fun with this. Make each little card an artist card. Something that says, look how creative I was when I made my prompt cards. And just, this is all about giving yourself future ideas. So instead of just putting like one row as a line, do some different ideas on here. Like, how can we use that prompt in different ways going forward? So I could have a line around a shape. I could have a line going through the paper. I could have a line coming in and out in, say, like a half circle. I can create all kinds of fun little ways to make that prompt work. I could do different colors. I could have painted on here and then done lines on top of that. Just trying to get your creative juices flowing here. So let's see. So here we've got some overlap. Let's save this. Be careful as you're doing them that you're not smearing something. Let them dry before you're touching them. And then here we have overlapping circles. So let's go ahead and let's get our watercolor stuff out. And I want to create overlapping circles. So I've got one of my paintbrushes here. I am just going to pull out my yummy Kuretake Art Nouveau collection and just start picking. And you know, with circles, what you could do is take a circle stencil and draw some little circles on here and then paint those circles. Let me go get my circle stencil. So we could take a mechanical pencil, which I've got over here. And then we could start it off by drawing some different, really soft. You don't have to make it where you can see them, but maybe you want to create a little piece of art out of this and just see like what can we come up with. All right, let's start with that. See, now you kind of have a line to follow. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it perfect, but just something to see what I can do to add some interest here. Alright, so on this overlapping circles, you can be as elaborate or as simple as you want. You can be exact with your colors or let them overlap and run. But I just thought, how fun would it be? Make a little piece of art demonstration, something, and then we have our overlapping circles prompt on the back side. But look how pretty that is. So now we have two line of dots. And overlapping circles, there's 2 prompt cards. And what if we did something like tangled or overlapping lines or marks or something like that? Let's use our bamboo brush. Well, actually, wait a minute. I think I want to use a brush that'll actually let me kind of draw a circle. Let's pull out a smaller brush. Here we go. So this is a round number 4 Sketchbox signature brush. And what we can do, let's just pull this pretty blue out of here. We could do this in black, but what if one of our prompts was, you know, looping lines or overlapping lines or tangled lines or something like that? Now we have a yummy example of that. We could even, you know, come back with a different color, and we could do some more to really make it kind of tangled in there. These could be overlapping looping lines for interesting marks. Oh, see, I like that. This is very much in that little tangled kind of card look that we had there. So looping lines are tangled, and then look at those. See, you can see how super fun these become when it's your own marks, it's your own paints, it's your own ideas. And I'm just going to tell you some of the prompts that I've come up with, and then I would love for you to tell me some of your favorite prompts or prompts that you think of as we're brainstorming here. But I've got overlapping circles, turn your page upside down and keep working, do some stitches, limit yourself to only 5 art supplies, a line of dots, add a floral doodle with your paint pens, add some marks with a stencil, tight circles, add some scribble with a pencil, use an art product or color you've never used before, paint using a palette knife, loose circles, sets of dots. Now I'm a dot girl, so I love that one. Add some bold marks. Work in a series. Use a color you don't like. Add an accent color. Add some white. Focus on a limited color palette. So with this, I want you to think 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors. Limit yourself to a maximum of 4 colors. Add some squares, sets of lines. Now, I particularly love sets of lines. One of my very favorite pieces recently that I created was this one, and that's a YouTube video that I've got out on my channel. And you can see here I have used that line stencil. I've got little sets of dots, I've got circles, I've got all kinds of fun things going on in there. But sets of lines and dots are some of my particular favorite elements. And you know, maybe you didn't know that until you tried a prompt and you're like, oh, I like this. Add some collage. Add some writing. This little piece here has some writing in it also. Added a whole bunch of my favorite little elements in there. Add some paint splatter. Who doesn't like a little bit of splatter? Make marks with a paint pen, like your Posca pens. Add some black. That's really nice for adding some contrast and some little oomph. Use your non-dominant hand to draw some lines. Now I really love this because using your non-dominant hand gets you out of being too perfect, too exact, too straight. It really gets you into the messy, organic looking lines that look the coolest, in my opinion. Try a different substrate you don't normally use. This is another favorite prompt of mine. So if you're normally using cold pressed watercolor paper for most of your projects, switch over to a rough paper or a hot press paper or a canvas. So many different options. I want you to get outside your comfort zone and try a different paper or substrate. Add some paint with your fingers. Who doesn't love finger painting? I would make sure that whatever you're doing that with, if you've got any colors that have any toxic minerals in them. Wear some gloves, but you know, if you're using some Arteza paints or some paints that you know are not toxic, then get right in there with your fingers and get messy. Make a mark you've never made before. So that's just going to be up to some experimenting. And then look at all of these yummy prompt cards that I have yet to fill out. And I cannot wait to see what prompts you think of now that we have brainstormed some ideas on how to create these, whether you do them nice and simple on little cards like this, that you can just do like a deck of cards and be like, okay, I'm doing this one and this one today, and seeing what I end up with, and use a color you don't like and a line of dots. And you can see how this is going to get you out of a rut, out of your comfort zone, and discovering some new things. I love doing art prompt challenges, so I plan on doing plenty of videos using prompts, and I'd love it if you help me brainstorm some more ideas in the comments below so that I can add to my prompt cards also. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this challenge, and I'll see you next time.